Sack Life beat depression. It's day 747, and we're back with another round of somatic healing sessions to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Now, anyone who's tuning in later, as you know, we focus in on mental health tools first, and our first and foremost mental health tool is that gratitude tool. The more we use it, the more powerful it becomes in our day and in our lives, slowly reshaping, rebalancing that mind into a more positive one, into one that finds those silver linings in life more easily. So my gratitude today going out to Century Martial Arts for helping us raise awareness not only to the 10 kick challenge that they've got going on, but also to our cause as well, and helping us raise awareness for Suicide Prevention Month, Suicide Awareness Month. It's a serious issue, and this training has helped me overcome suicidal ideation. So the more that word gets out, that there are other ways forward, the better it can be for everyone involved. So huge gratitude going out to Century for helping us spread the word, and to Mad with Hats, and to anybody else who's been resharing that recent post on suicidal ideation. Appreciate you guys and girls out there. Thank you so much. I also want to shout out gratitude to Lisa Luminary, Mad with Hats, and Brett, aka Soul, for being the first ones in today. Appreciate you guys and girls for supporting the cause. And I want to shout out gratitude to Sean's Crazy Saloon for tagging us in their post as well, helping raise awareness there. You know, a lot of times people who are going through depression and dealing with suicidal ideation will turn to alcohol for release, and they wind up in bars. So bars are actually the perfect place to advertise tools that can help empower people to move forwards, because that's where our target demographic is, for thinking about it, right? So I want to shout out huge gratitude to Sean's Crazy Saloon for advertising us in there as well, helping raise awareness, helping spread the word, helping empower others. If you're out here in the New Jersey, Kearney, North Arlington area, and you want to come out for some karaoke fun, it starts at 8 o'clock. I will probably be there around 9, 10 o'clock. If you want to stop by and say hello, tell them the Sack Man sent you. Maybe you'll get a discount. Nobody knows. You never know till you try, right? Let's find a way to support each other. And also, if you're not drinking, if you're not into alcohol, the best drink to order is an extra virgin Shirley Temple. It'll never look more manly, and you can get through the whole night, have a lot of fun. You don't even have to have alcohol. You can still have a good time. So that's my non-alcoholic drink of choice, and just sharing that journey with you guys. So thank you, everybody, for being part of that gratitude section. Checking in on comments. Bong bong to Century and everyone still in the fight, man. Peace, everyone. Grateful for these tools. Thank you so much, Mad with Hats. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing your experience, reposting our post. I don't know if you caught it, but you were in that gratitude section for that reshare. Really do appreciate you spreading the word and spreading tools out there. And for anyone else who's interested or who doesn't already know, I'm offering free pad training, free personal training with the Thai pads. Bam! Come out, practice your kicks, practice your punches at public locations in Kearney, New Jersey, and North Arlington. So just shoot me a DM or let people know if they're interested, if they want to show up for themselves and give it a shot. Find ways forward, find ways to somatically heal. Oi, mamma mia. Okay. Just let me know. Shoot me a DM, and it is all free. All I ask that you do is help me raise awareness by being public with your progress. If you have a good experience, share it with the world. Drop me a review on sacklifeofficial.com. You know, let's help support each other so we can empower each other out here and find those ways forward. Shout out as well to Slayer Ken for sharing your progress. Let's talk about that progress tool. Keeping track of the number of days you show up for yourself will have a cumulative effect so that you give yourself accurate credit that you deserve for the hard work that you are putting in moving forwards. Depression is a life-threatening disease. It leads to suicidal ideation, and every day that you stand up and fight forwards, you prove that you are stronger by a matter of fact than those debilitating effects. You can prove that no matter what your brain is telling you or what temporary feeling or experience you're going through, you can overcome it. And that number will only get more powerful as you continue to keep track of it. When we share it with each other, again, we can empower others with our progress, and that's one of the best ways we can make change out here is by being that change that we want to see. So shout out to those sharing their progress, staying consistent. Ken is coming in at 355 days. So close to a year. Good stuff, brother. I'm really proud of you. Happy you are making that progress out there, staying consistent and punching forwards. And he said, bless you. Thank you. Thanks for the blessing during the sneeze. It's all good. All right. That covers comments. That covers list, track, and tool. gratitude tool. Now let's get into the lesson. We always use visualization and consciously acknowledge what we're doing in here every single day, which is knocking out those debilitating lies, those debilitating effects of depression. So we want to consciously acknowledge that opponent that we are fighting, that visualized target, is depression. For me, I call it the depression dummy because it bases its strength on lies, dumb thing to do, and we base our strength on truth. We find that truth in ourselves about what we can do. We show it to ourselves every day what we are capable of. So we're going to visualize that target. We're going to assign it the word that we want to work on, if it's depression or anxiety. Shout out as well to Karina Ballerina. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you out there. We're going to be getting into a Muay Thai session. If you haven't taken these classes before, you can find stance guides on saclifeofficial.com at the bottom of the free martial arts for mental health class page. And that will prepare you for any classes that we have coming up. Also, you can take these classes at your own discretion whenever you'd like to catch up with our sessions, both on Instagram at IGTV in the Daily Training Series page, and also on YouTube at Sac Life Daily, one word. You can take those lessons anonymously at your own discretion and see what works for you. Shout out as well to This Kid Is Lucky. California Bill, Billy the Savage out there. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. All right, let's get into it. So we're visualizing this target. We're visualizing that depression dummy. We're lining up with it. Squared hips, squared shoulders, bringing the fists up to the brow line, closing the fingers, tucking the thumbs, tucking that chin, and we're in our balanced Muay Thai position. Today, we're going to be practicing some advancing and retreating combos. Hang loose to Billy. Appreciate those shakas out there. So we're going to be squared up with that visualized target, that depression dummy, and we're going to be talking about the basics, jabs, and cross, but today we're going to think about the footwork a little bit, and we're going to turn them into advancing and retreating jabs and crosses, and we're going to have some advancing and retreating elbow strikes in there as well. So let's talk about the basic jab and cross first. We're in our balanced Muay Thai stance, right? Chin tucked. We're visualizing that target. When we step in, we take that small step forwards, boom, onto the ball of front foot, and we twist through the shoulders and hips to toss that jab. Now to make it an advancing jab, all we've got to do is kind of push off that rear foot. So as we turn in and take that step, we're going to push off the ball of that rear foot, bump, and that's going to drive that fist forwards even more, turning it into an advancing jab. From here, we're going to just rotate back to our neutral stance, but when we rotate back, we're going to take a small step with that rear foot, re-squaring up our hips and shoulders, and now we're also advancing at the same time. Let's do it again, twisting through from here, twisting through the hips. We're taking that small step with the front foot, and we're pushing off the ball of the rear foot, boom, as we twist in. That rear foot's following just a little bit. When we square back up, we get back into our balanced stance, bringing that rear foot forwards again. Very small steps. Think about small steps here. So give yourself plenty of room to advance and retreat, and let's talk about that advancing jab. Small step forwards, and I pushed off that rear foot, bring that rear foot up just a little bit. When we square back up, boom, rear foot comes up, gets me back in balanced position. We're still squared, everything's nice and squared and tight. So that is our advancing jab. Twist through, bump, and then when we square up, that rear foot follows. Now we can add in the cross and continue that combo, continue putting that pressure on our target and make it an advancing jab and cross routine. So advancing jab, twisting through the hips and shoulders, small step on the front foot, push off the rear foot. We've made contact with our target. Now for the advancing cross, all we're going to have to do here is take a small step with that rear foot as we pivot. Boom. Right? As we pivot and sink. Normally we would sink on that knee. We'd let that foot rotate and drive that cross forwards. And the only difference here is we're already in that advancing position with the jab. We're going to take a small step as we rotate through. Boom. To our squared position. We're still rotating on the ball of foot, but it's moving from its solid location, small step forwards, boom, along with that rotation. So here's what it's going to look like alone. From our squared Muay Thai position, we're going to take a small step forwards on that front foot, and then a small step and rotate on that back foot. That is your advancing cross, back to stance. Advancing cross, small step on the front foot to simulate the step in for the jab. Then small step on the back foot as we rotate, boom, through the ball of the foot, through the hips, through the shoulders, and into that powerful advancing cross strike. So square up, advancing cross, boom. Keep it square, keep it tight, keep that chin on the center line, everything nice and balanced, and back to stance. Advancing jab, small step on the front foot, pushing off the rear foot, right? Puts us in that advancing position. Rotate back to square, and that rear foot comes up. We're balanced again. Advancing jab, boom. Advancing cross, step on the rear foot as you rotate, bang. Now we've got an advancing jab and advancing cross. Let's put them together. Another advancing jab, boom. Advancing cross, boom. Now we've got a combo. That's an endless combo right there. You can use to keep that pressure on your opponent, keep knocking those lies out of that depression dummy's face, and give yourself a new challenge. We've got movement involved now, too. Now we talked about the advancing jab and cross. Let's talk about the retreating jab and cross. So here's your advance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do the same thing. This time, we'll go from a square stance, right? We're squared up. We're too close. We don't want to be here. Maybe there's a lot of pressure coming back at us. We want to use rotation. We want to use those science, that sweet science, and get the right angles and let our body do the work for us as we move backwards. So from our balanced stance, we're squared up. We're nice and close. We're going to take a step back with that rear foot to open up the space. And as we do, we're going to rotate through the hips and shoulders, right? It's a natural movement. As that foot moves back, your hips will want to rotate, right, to create that space. So we're going to take advantage of that rotation from our balanced stance, move that foot back, and just toss that front fist out. We can rotate on the ball of the front foot as well, just like we always do. If we're standing and we're not stepping into the jab, we're rotating on the ball of that front foot. So now from our squared up, balanced stance, we're nice and close. We're going to turn it into a retreating jab, small step back, twisting through the hips and shoulders. We're tossing that jab, and now we're going to just step that lead foot back, boom, back to square. Now we're creating distance. We're opening up the space. We're pulling back, but we're still staying aggressive. We're still firing off those punches. So we become dangerous as we put the pressure on, and as we pull back, we keep that pressure going. We keep those hands flying. So let's go back over it. Advancing jab, advancing cross, advancing jab, advancing cross. And now we're going to do a retreating jab, pivot back, boom, off the ball of the front foot, back to square, boom. Retreating jab, back to square, retreating jab, back to square. Now we're going to talk about the retreating cross. So we've got our advancing cross, boom, right? And we're square. Now our retreating cross. For the retreating cross, we're going to sink on those legs a little bit, sink on the knees, so that that foot can slide back, opening up that space again. So from our square Muay Thai position, we're going to sink just a little bit lower on the knees, so that we can send that rear foot back as we pivot. And then we're going to stand up tall, getting back into our squared neutral position. So again, let's do it. Retreating cross here. We rotate through and send that rear foot back. We're still balanced. And then we stand up nice and tall. Sink, stand, sink, stand. Don't do it on slippery floor with socks. It's a bad idea. But sink, boom, and stand. Notice how that rear foot is slipping back, open up more space, turning into a retreating cross. And that's it. Let's stick with that. We can add elbows in. The mechanics are going to be the same as we go. We're going to get through our standard rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath. Drink some water. Check in on you. Make sure that you're pushing to your skill level and you're not competing with mine. You can moderate your pace, your intensity, and the volume of those strikes you're throwing out there. Really make it your own. That way you can see that continuous, consistent growth forwards. And go at that intensity rating that gives you a challenge but doesn't overwork you. We got to watch out for those signs of overworking, nauseousness, lightheadedness, dizziness, seeing spots. Those are all signs of overreaching. We want to dial that intensity back. All right, we're going to get this thing going. That is enough pre-instruction. Make sure you got water. And we're going to have that fighting spirit of the 80s coming through right now.
Bluetooth pairing.
Boom. No, not that one. There it is. Maybe something else. Let's go melody. It's usually pretty inspiring for me. Alright, let's hit this thing. Let's hit depression where it hurts most. Right in the sack! Square up with that visualized target and let's do this thing. We're gonna give ourselves space now. I hope you guys have space at home. Give yourself a lot of space to move forwards and backwards today. And we're starting this timer right now. Go ahead and square up with that target, and let's start without the advancing and retreating. We're just going to start with basic jabs and crosses. So small step for the jab, rotate back to stance. Small step for the jab, back to stance. When we toss that jab, we want to keep the chin tucked into the shoulder on the center line. Keep those shoulders rolled for defense. Guard high by the brow line. Jab, 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 jab. And as we jab, we're twisting through the body. We're turning that fist over and landing on those large two knuckles and rotating back. Making sure to squeeze. If you're hitting the bag at home or the bob, squeeze at the point of impact to avoid injury. And then back to stance. Keep moving. Jab, 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 jab. Let's add in the cross. 3, 2, 1. Jab, cross, down the center line. Jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Now you notice this is not an advancing jab across. It's just a very small step on that front jab. Boom, boom. Just entering into that pocket. Ba, ba. Making contact, right? Small step. Rotate through for the cross. Ba, ba. Turn those fists over. Notice the ball of the foot rotating. Rotate on the back foot for the cross. Rotate on the front foot for the jab. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to start advancing with that jab. Check out the difference. Note the difference here. Twist through and push off that rear foot as you twist through. Bah! We're there, and then we're going to rotate back to square, bringing that rear foot up again. Very small step, but back into our balanced stance. Square up, give yourself room. Advancing jab, and back. Back to stance, give yourself some room. Advancing jab, and back to square, back to stance. Advancing jab, boom. You can give it a double advancing jab here. Let's keep that advancing jab going. Advancing jab, advancing jab, advancing jab. And back to stance. Squared hips, rolled shoulders, guard high. Give yourself some room. We're going to do consecutive advancing jabs here. Advancing jab, boom. Advancing jab, boom. Advancing jab, boom. We're keeping that guard high. We're squaring up after each shot. After each shot lands, we're keeping that pressure on. Advancing jab, boom. Advancing jab, advancing jab. Remember, 2 steps on the rear foot. The first one, we're taking that step with the lead foot and we're launching off the rear forwards. And then the second step on that rear foot is when we return to square, our squared stance. Bring that rear foot up instead of that front foot back. Let's do it. Advancing jab. Keep it moving and back to stance. Open it up. Advancing jab. And back to stance. Open it up. Make some space. Advancing jabs, and back into it. Follow at your pace. Put it in at your intensity. Let's go. And back to stance. Square up. Back to stance. Square up. That's the end of round 1. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Dial in that intensity. See where you're at. Check in for those signs of overreaching. Make sure you're staying hydrated out there. Super important. And for some reason I lost visibility on comments, so if anyone's commenting out there right now, I can't see them. Apologize, but know that we're still here. I'm still here with you, even if I can't see what you're trying to tell. But we got 25 seconds, so we're going to pop into the next session. We're going to add in that cross, right? We're going to keep that advancing combo going, and we'll start adding in the retreating combos. And by the third session, we'll be able to move forwards and backwards, hopefully fluidly. Oh, I can see hearts coming in. That's the only thing I can see. It's just the heart. I can't see any of the text. I don't know what's going on. IG's a little buggy. We got 5 seconds. Square up with that visualized target. Guard high by the brow line. Close the fingers. Tuck the thumbs. Tuck the chin. Shout out to Claire. I see Claire in there. Shout out to Claire. Square up with that target, and we're going to do some advancing jabs. Let's continue where we left off. Twisting forward. Small step on the front foot. Pushing off the rear foot. Square back up into our neutral stance. Push forward for the advancing jab. Square up and keep it moving forwards. Back to stance. Let's go. Advancing jabs. Advancing jab. Keep it going. Bang. Give yourself some room to cover ground with that advancing jab. Open it up. And let's go. Drill the advancing jab. Advancing jab. Advancing jab. Advancing jab. Advancing jab. Get nice and fluid with it. Remember, push off the rear foot. Step with the front as you turn. And then bring yourself back to that balanced neutral stance just with that advanced movement. Let's add in the cross now. Advancing jab. From here we're going to sweep through. We're going to let that rear foot come forwards as we rotate forwards into the cross position. and back to neutral stance. Boom, small step on that front foot to square up. Let's do it again. Advancing jab, boom. We're going to add in the advancing cross. Let that rear foot sweep forwards as we rotate through, and then back to neutral. Bang, back to neutral position. Let's link in the advancing jab and advancing cross together for advancing combo. 1, sweep through on that rear foot, sweep through to the 1, sweep to the 2, sweep to the 1, sweep to the 2, and now we've got an advancing combo going. Open up that space, turn those fists over, and let's do it. Step for the 1. Rotate and slide that rear foot, bump forwards as you twist through. Remember, the power comes from rotation, not from pushing, not from that pushing force. It comes from the rotation, building that speed. So you don't have to have that foot planted to generate a ton of force. Back it up, give yourself some space, step in for the 1, rotate and sweep for the 2, bring that rear leg forwards, step for the 1, rotate for the 2, step for the 1, rotate for the 2, and back it up. Open up that space. Let's keep the advancing combo going. Jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Right down that center line. Back to it. Tuck the chin. Guard high. Let's go. Jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Right down that center line. Keep the footwork moving. And bring it back. Remember balance. Don't lean into those punches. Just rotate through those punches. Keep that torso nice and straight. Let's go. Advancing combo. Jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. Let's keep that pressure on them. Back it up. Let's hit that depression dummy where it hurts. Advancing jab, cross. Exhale through those strikes. Inhale through the nose. Bring it back and let's keep that advancing combo going. Inhale deep. Move it back in. That's the end of round 2. In round 3, we're going to work on that retreating punch and cross as well. Woo. And I can see braces can be scary. Claire and Luca, appreciate you guys and gals out there. Thank you for tuning in. For some reason, I can't see most of the comments or a lot of information here right now. I don't know what's going on. But we got 34 seconds before we hit this final session. And we're going to work on that retreating combo that we practiced, putting the advance and retreat combo together. If you're at home and you do have a heavy bag or a bob, you can still do advancing combos. Just work your way to the bag, right? Give yourself some space. Let the first couple combos bump, 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 be into the air and shadow boxing. And then once you make it to the bag, finish strong with those 2 physical contacts. And then you can work in the retreating routine as well. Alright, final round. Give yourself a ton of room in front of the camera. Square up with that depression dummy and let's advance forwards till we make contact, and then we'll work the retreating jab cross in there. Jab, rotate through for cross, jab, rotate through for cross, jab, rotate through for cross. Notice the steps being taken, right? Jab, boom. Now here we are, we made contact. We want to hit him with the cross next because it's preloaded, but we're going to sink on those knees and slide that foot back, opening up that space and turning it into a retreating cross. Now when we stand up straight, boom, we're in our balanced position again and we're opening up that gap. Retreating cross, boom, slip that rear foot back as you rotate and stand up straight. Retreating cross, boom, and back, boom, and back, boom, and back. Square up, advancing jab cross combo. Push, 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 push. Back to stance. Now, I landed on the cross this time, so we're going to give it a retreating jab. So for the retreating jab, we're going to pivot as we shift our weight back. Boom. We're stepping back off that front foot, and we're pivoting through. So here's our contact on that cross. We're going to take a step back, pivoting off that front foot, whoosh, and using that rotation to take a small step back on that rear foot. Now continue that combo with another retreating cross. Bam! Right there. When we move into the cross, I'm recentering that lead foot and I'm sliding that rear foot back. Retreating cross. Stand up straight, pivoting back. Another small step with the rear foot as we toss that lead cross. It's the retreating cross. And jab. Bang! There it is. Bang! There it is. Bang! There it is. Bang! There it is. Remember, keep those knees bent. That will make that movement even easier. Advancing jab crosses. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to pivot on our way back. Small step back with the rear foot. Bump. As we rotate through, we're going to bring that front foot back to center. And we're going to pivot again. Sliding that rear foot back as we sink on the knees. Bring the front foot back to center as you pivot up. Boom. Standing tall. Back foot's going to slide back on this cross now. Boom. There it is. Stand up tall. Bang. Right there. We've got a retreating combo going. Bang. Back it up. Boom. Square up with that dummy and let's put them all together. Advance and retreat as you toss those punches. Punches never stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pivot backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now pivot forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is the end of round 3. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Woo! I hope you found room to grow and techniques that you can improve on. Remember, there's unlimited room for growth and progress through martial arts. So explore. See what works for you. See what vibes for you, what you enjoy most. And put those moves together into your own super effective routine against depression. For some reason, I still can't see any of your comments. I'm going to assume you're all still here and you're having a good time. And if you are having a good time, please do share it with the world. That's one of the best ways that we can empower each other. Oh, excuse me. And until next time, oh, I see Vale. Shout out to Vale. Appreciate your support. And until next time, I will catch you guys same exact time, same exact channel, same exact life. Zach Man out. Whew.